Step right up, where luxury meets lunacy, and the wedding world is our three-ring circus. We're your ringmasters, Marilyn Exposito and Manolo Dureste, wedding pros with 50 years of combined experience and a flair for the dramatic. From show-stopping venues and wild vendor tales to jaw-dropping I-dos, this is your all-access pass to Happily Ever After. Welcome to Ringleader Show.
What do you get when you mix luxury catering, 1,000 moving parts, and no room for mistakes? You get Nicole Hernandez. She is our special guest today. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you. I love that intro.
Right?
That's amazing.
So in about a minute, because I know you like to talk,
I do.
tell us, who is Nicole Hernandez?
I mean, personally or professionally?
Can we get a little bit of both?
Sure.
Okay, go.
So let me start with professional, because then we'll get into the personal.
Right.
So I am the vice president of sales for Elior North America, which to my event friends, we actually have a couple of brands in South Florida, in Miami.
So hold on. Elior is an umbrella company.
Elior is an umbrella company that actually is based out of France.
Oui,
and
oui.
then we have the North America division. In Miami, it's Constellation Culinary Group. In New York, it's Abigail Kirsch.
Oh, I know them.
DC, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
In DC, it's Design Cuisine and DC Rentals. And we also have Constellation like spattered through the U.S. in professional dining.
How many locations throughout the U.S. does that umbrella company
my
oversee?
goodness.
2,
So-
10, 20?
50 plus.
Are you serious?
From a catering perspective, we also have professional dining, which is more than that, maybe another 30 or so. But
So
don't quote
almost
me on that.
100.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Between
Wow.
all of it, but that's it's a spattering of between all of our different brands.
Got it. Okay, so you oversee
So I
what?
oversee the catering division of the dining and events segment of Elior North America as the vice president of sales.
So how many groups do you oversee? Because you almost
So it's
mentioned
5.
8.
So there's a total of 5 brands. I oversee 4 of those brands. So Lancer in Minnesota, Lancer Hospitality in Minnesota, Constellation Culinary Group, which is across the U.S., Abigail Kirsch in New York, and Design Cuisine in the DMV area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds like a
It's a
big operation.
Big job.
What was your first step into the world of food and catering? How did you get started?
My first catering job was Hard Rock Cafe and Casino in Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yes.
Yeah, not the casino. I'm sorry. It's just Hard Rock Cafe.
What were you doing there?
I was the Smurf market.
No.
So school, yeah. So
What does Smurf
school,
mean?
military, education, like the smaller market. So when you start off in sales, you start off in these like smaller markets to get your feet wet, essentially.
Okay.
And I sold two locations in Las Vegas. So the actual cafe that's like on the strip that everybody knows, and then a smaller, older location on Paradise and Harmon. That was my first catering job.
Okay, so obviously you transitioned to where you're at now,
Yep.
but in that first job, any like really wild moment you remember or an
Oh my God.
experience that left your jaw to the floor or something that maybe you haven't repeated to anybody else and you want to tell us exclusively?
So Las Vegas, I can't think of something specific about the job, but Las Vegas itself, I was in my 20s, so it was really wild. And it was
Recently?
a good time. Yeah, and very recently.
Very
This
recent.
is like at least 5 years ago. So it was a really wild time. And I will tell you that the Hard Rock Cafe, they call their staff the Island of Misfit Toys. And they had, because we were all misfits, right, in Hard Rock. And they had a strict no fraternization policy between hourly employees and managers. And at the time when I started, I was an hourly employee, and I definitely fraternized with the managers.
Shocking.
But nothing really salacious, that I can actually remember. Maybe I just can't remember most of it.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
You can't remember.
Yeah.
So from Hard Rock to where you are now,
Yeah.
give us 2 career highlights,
Ooh. Like event wise.
event-wise.
That's a tough one, because my whole career has been spattered with really amazing things, right? So
Was it when you changed a tire on an F1 truck car?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was also in Vegas.
Okay.
There's so many different moments that I can say, oh, this was pivotal for me. This was pivotal for me.
Sure.
I know, but you're making me think, right?
Sure.
So the most recent, thank you for that memory, is that I got to go to an exclusive experience. We do Formula One here in Miami, and we have a great partnership, not to be named. We have a great partnership, and I got to do a really awesome experience and see kind of like if I was spending $50,000 on a ticket, I would go do this experience, right? And I got to do that kind of as a guest to make sure that we were matching that same experience here in Miami, and we did. We rocked.
Nice.
So that was one, and then I would say that when we did an event for a shoe brand and we were at the Miami Marine Stadium, when, like they hadn't activated in a really long time, and it was just like on a barge, lights, the whole thing, you know. And then you can think of like all the Star Island parties and all the things that you kind of do that are just really cool. That's more than two, I know.
Okay. So now give me the 30 to 45 second version of who Nicole Hernandez is as a person, a personal. Start with the nails.
So I know you love my nails.
I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
They're amazing.
Show it to the camera. There you go.
Amazing. I can look at the camera now.
Look at that one.
This one.
That one. That right there. That one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zoom in on that shit.
So I do this once a month, and Manolo absolutely hates it.
Show it to Marilyn now.
I like them. I can see them from
Thank
here.
you so much.
Yeah.
They're hand painted, but that's
That takes
not
a long time.
Takes 2 hours. What other things are you going to bring up? This is extra interesting because it's you and I, so it's really super special. I'm a mother. I have a daughter named Lola. Lola has type 1 diabetes. So she's very special to me because she has my full personality and all the things.
No. She's not a raging.
Lola.
She's a gem.
She's a beautiful
She's
girl,
a
but
sweet, loving
she's 5.
soul.
Yes, all
who
the
wants
things.
caviar all the time.
All the things. But she is, so I say that type 1 diabetes, I always think it's really important for everybody to.
You bring awareness to it.
Yeah, I do.
Which is important.
I do because I say that because for me, I'm a mother, right? But I wouldn't have been able to become like the full mother had I not had something that bonded us. So that's very important to me and bringing awareness to that as well. I'm a wife. My husband's spectacular. You were there.
He's more spectacular than you.
He is. He's great.
He's much better than you.
He definitely is my better
Stop
half.
looking at the camera.
I'm not looking at the camera. I was looking like up at the light.
The monitor.
He's definitely my better half. Yeah, he's a great guy.
We love Scott.
Definitely.
So mother,
wife,
father, mother.
I'm mother, father,
Mother,
wife, VP.
Right. And what else? That's work. What else makes
Yeah.
you special? What, your fragrance. You're
Sure,
into
I have
nails.
some into niche fragrances, but I will also say that one of the things that my work is obviously my work. It's a big part of my personality. I've worked really hard to get to where I am, but I have a huge passion for food. So from my lens, the reason that I'm so good at my job and so good at events and building that story for clients is because I have the passion for what I do every single day. So I will take, if I'm obsessed with Korean this week, right, I will become like the best Korean cook, the Korean grandma. I'll make the dishes from like the old world and just become hyper-focused, and it's ADHD too, but become hyper-focused and fixated on one thing, whether that's Korean or French or whatever it is, and become the best version of that. I also like to eat foods that nobody wants to touch, right? I was just talking about this today. I had tried balut for the first time, which is like a...
What is that?
It's a duck embryo. They only allow them to grow to like for 14 days or something, really small. And then I had it for the first time, deep fried, delicious.
I'll skip.
So like Andrew Zimmern's Bizarre Foods is like my dream job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about your food issues later.
Okay, and
or
they're not
preferences
issues. They're not
or
issues.
love for
They're
food.
love, yeah.
But I'm gonna hand it over to Marilyn because she has
Don't
something.
worry, I'm not going to interrupt you like he does.
Oh,
Thank you.
multiple
I
times.
fucking
I
times.
appreciate it.
Multiple
It's
times.
because
You can
it's
actually
me.
talk. It's not the Manolo show.
Yeah.
He thinks that sometimes it is, but
Thank
it's
you.
not.
I appreciate
right?
that, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about special events and
Okay.
the off-premise catering.
Okay.
Talk to me about the manpower that it takes behind that. I mean, I have experienced it firsthand, but talk to me about what you've brought to the table and what you think is the most challenging aspect of off-premise catering.
So it's really interesting that you asked that question. So we are building Constellation and actually dining and events at our brand. We're building a large events segment, right? Because the catering world, the off-premise catering world, is very specific, and the kind of infrastructure that you need to pop up an event for 8,000 people, right? It takes a month ramp up, all the staff. There's hundreds of people that are involved behind the scenes to have this like seamless show for 4 hours that nobody really knows what it is, and then you have a demanding client on the other end of that. That obviously you have a really high expectation. So, I guess to wrap up what I'm kind of thinking through is there's so many moving parts that when you have a company or you have people that have that experience, it is so. It's so valuable because that's years of pain, that's years of screw ups, that's years of knowing, oh, I can't do that again, or that sort of thing that you know that kind of brings you to being the expert. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Halfway?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Do you sit in the actual interviews when you hire these people? The people that are gonna,
So
the
there's-
chefs, everybody that is behind the scenes?
There's a couple of things. So no, because it's hundreds of people, right? So what you need is 10 people that really know how to do it, and they can orchestrate the rest. So if you have a staff of 300, those 300 people, I just need hands and feet, and we're good to go. I'll tell you where to stand. I'll tell you what to do. We'll tell you what that's supposed to look like, where things go, because the logistical back end is all done by the people that have been doing it for 20, 30 years. It's not, you can't just step into a catered event, a wedding, whatever it is, and say, yeah, we can do this without an issue. That's never the case. So no, we don't. We interview our chefs and our operators, but we know what we're doing, so we kind of,
Largest event you've ever produced, and talk to me about the challenge behind that. Aside from thousands of people, what was the main challenge behind
So
that?
I'm going to speak of one event in particular, because I can talk about the events that my company's done, right? Super Bowl and F1 and all these great
Right.
things, which is not, it's not a me thing. It's the entire company that's done it, right? People that work really hard to get these clients and earn their trust. There was one event that was particularly horrific here in South Florida. There was a store that was opening, and they guaranteed, let's say they guaranteed 3,000 people. And
And 7,000 showed up.
yeah, they had
Were they Cuban?
they had 2 points of entrance, and 1 point of entrance they didn't have a security guard, and a very major celebrity showed up. Okay, very major, like A-list showed up.
Like Gaga.
Walks up the stairs, walks up this building, and the entire event followed this individual to the top. And I remember, this is my entire company. We're the best, right? We have people that have been doing it for a very long time, and we all just sat there. The client was screaming on the radio because there was literally every single person, all 5,000, 10,000 people, whoever it was upstairs on this floor looking at the celebrity, and the client was screaming at us because there was a sea of glassware. And I'm like, do you want me to walk on their heads and pick up? There's nothing that I can do. There's literally, and those situations happen so often, and we just have to, with poise and grace. I mean, not this time. I literally took my headset off and I was like, no, I'm going to go into the,
Right.
we were doing like a candy room at the time. I'm going to go into the candy room and eat candy and just like, just going to ignore this client. I am
The candy
done.
room. That's what we're going to call
Candy
it.
room, candy room. I'm like, I'm going to ignore.
I have one of those.
I'm like this. So that is the most memorable event. Anybody that's done this with, I mean, there's a couple people in the industry that I still know and work with that were part of this event that literally have like the worst PTSD from it.
Can you tell us who they were so we could talk to them?
Yeah, I can.
And what do you do when something like that happens? Like, how do you talk yourself out of not losing your shit?
No, that's very hard. That's very hard to do because clients are unreasonable, as we all know, right? And I'm Cuban. My blood is hot, and so it's just
What
walking.
stops you from being like, oh, ¿qué cojones?
No. Yeah, like I want to 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I really want to because there's an unreasonable expectation. And I'm going to speak a little bit of catering lingo here, right? And it's something that you'd understand. So imagine a location, and this location has multiple floors, right? And the location has no back of house space, and we all know how coveted back of house space is. And it's a major production because this is a huge store. They have a lot of people that are coming into town, whatever it is. And they want every single floor to have a different activation. So that means different glassware, different plates, different this, different that. And and they were expecting 3,000 people, 7,000 came, whatever it was, right? And our pantry, like where we took the dirties, was all the way on the 5th floor, the roof of the 5th floor. So when you have a client saying, oh yeah, you can do it. You're going to have 17 activations here, and you're going to have this food here and that food there. But you got to do it in this amount of time, and you got to take all the stuff upstairs with all the staff, and the staff's not working quick enough. I'm like, they're walking up flights because you're not allowing our staff to use your elevators. Like, how do you,
logistics.
kitchen on the floor, pantry on the roof. The logistics are wild in these situations, and so it's very hard not to lose your cool. I think what I've learned over the years is that I have to over-explain right? And then I say no. I say, this isn't the right fit for me. This isn't the right event for me. We're not the right fit. Because if I know that we're going to fail and I put my team in that position, it's just not, it's the headache afterwards, the calls, the debriefs, it's not worth it. So we say no to events that are not for us. And that's okay. We can be picky.
And talk to me about an event that maybe, you know, let's not say it was 7,000 more people showed up, but let's say it was something like 40, 50 more people ended up being there rather than what you were expecting.
Yeah, it happens.
What do you guys do in order to fill that gap and be able to feed everyone?
We expect it. There's always an overage of food. There's always the expectation. There's always enough booze. There's always we have enough of everything most of the time. If you're covering 50 people, 100 people, it's fine. However, we are creative with that. So let's say it's 40. We can see what we can do to make it stretch, whatever it is that we have. And then we'll backfill with something. We'll say, hey, listen, you have more guests. We have this in the back of house, especially at our exclusive venues. If we have a restaurant, we might have like cheese boards or whatever it is, right? And we're creative with adding an element so that we're not running out of food. If we have hors d'oeuvres or something, we can add something to it and ask them if they want, and then we charge them on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, you're in a really tough, being in the catering spot is a really tough position because, you know, people that are attending the event, they don't know that an additional 30 people showed up.
Yeah.
An additional 30 people didn't RSVP.
Yeah.
So, ¿qué pasa? When you run out of food, it's always like, oh my God, those caterers were horrible.
I know.
You know? So you try to prevent that, and it puts you in a really, really tight spot, which is why you have to be picky, especially, you know, in the level of luxury catering that you guys are in. You have to be picky. And I tell that to people all the time. I'm picky with my clients because maybe they have the money, but the style doesn't match mine.
Right.
And so what happens is
It's
when
your
you,
name.
yeah, right. It's my name. Mm-hmm. The guests that are at the wedding are not like, oh no, it wasn't. It was the couple that picked the decor. No, they're like, oh my God, that wedding planner's tacky as fuck. Like I can't,
I know.
you know.
And you put it in there, and then they tag you in social media, and you're like, I didn't pick that.
Like, I didn't do that.
I didn't do a
wedding.
purple and green wedding.
Talk to me a little bit about your pre-adrenaline routine. Like, what do you do to get yourself like hyped up right before the event?
I mean,
starts?
that's just natural nerves. I think that's just something that naturally. Maybe I'll drink like a Red Bull or a Celsius, but just to keep myself going throughout the night. But I'm naturally hyped and excited before an event starts, and I just want to make sure that it goes off well. So that just runs me through. I'd say halfway through dinner, and then I'm like, oh.
Is that over yet?
Yeah, because you know what it is. The one thing about catering that's and maybe every vendor feels this way, but I do because this is my world. The catering starts when the event starts. Like you have production, lighting, whatever, right? The flore, they go up, they're done, they leave, they come back, they strike, right? Unless you're at Vizcaya and then all the flowers fall and you have a whole thing, which has happened too. Another terrible story was there was a mother of the bride that came into the back of the Vizcaya kitchen to scream at us because of the wind. I was like, I'm not God. I can't.
Hold on, let me make a call.
Like, what is it you want me to do?
Jesus, the bitch is back.
Like, it's just terrible.
God, is that you?
But the caterer sets the pace for the entire
Absolutely.
night. So we are
Absolutely.
working from the beginning because we're setting up while everybody's setting up. Same thing, right? We're doing everything that they're doing. Plus, we are serving. We're starting cocktail hour. We have the bar. And if the food is bad, like you mentioned, or not bad, if the food is not, if it runs out, or if there's not enough tequila because Uncle Johnny's been taking shots at the bar or whatever it is the caterer's fault 100% of the time, and that is all night long until the bitter end.
And a lot of people don't realize you guys are the first ones in and the last ones out.
Yeah.
So it is a long as fuck day.
And we're supposed to, if we do it right, we're ghosts. So I'd say that, it's really, you put up photos of beautiful decor and it's like eye candy, and food can be beautiful too. But when you have a room shot and you have plates down, what do you see? You see the decor, you don't see the food, right? And so unless we're getting like those photographs, it's not, we're supposed to feel like just this effortless part of your night. And then you can have enhancements like the clients that we love that add like the caviar carts and all that, like excess, which is what I specialize in, excess. But yeah, it's all night long.
But you guys also do, aside from, because sometimes you say luxury and people think, oh, like caviar, filet mignon, what have you. But they don't realize, for example, I hired you guys from Michelin star, chef, and he didn't want any of that shit. He wanted hot dogs, fancy
Yeah.
hot dogs,
Yeah.
Are you serious?
fancy fun food. Yeah, he didn't want any of that shit. He was tired of that. He does that 24/7. I don't want that shit for
Yeah.
my wedding.
Comfort food.
Super comfort.
Yeah.
And the way you guys made it look, first of all, it tasted spectacular. But second of all, the service, obviously, top notch. But you made it look like it wasn't comfort food. But it was.
Well,
But, the way it was plated and the way it was presented was phenomenal.
Luxury. You have a good point, right? And there's different levels of luxury. There's luxury service, which is something that we do and we do well because we train our staff to be like that extra level of attention and detail and hospitality forward. And then luxury is also making sure that if you're gonna make like a salchipapa, for example, right? It's supposed to be the best salchipapa you've ever had in your entire life, the best version of whatever it is. So that is also a level of luxury because you can go and buy a hot dog at whatever, but it's not going to be like our chefs taking the time to research the food and really understand what it's supposed to look and feel and taste like. So if we have somebody that comes in who's like, hey, we're Ethiopian and we want like injera, so we have to figure out, okay, well, how do you make injera really well, and how do you make it spongy, and how do you use the specific kind of flour that they use, and how do you make sure that it's fermented, and all the things, right? That takes us a level of skill, which is part of luxury. Now, Ethiopian food feels like very, more comfort food, like you grab it with your hands, and people don't understand the work that goes into making something that wouldn't be a luxury feel like a luxurious experience.
I think Manolo went into the candy room before coming over today.
No,
It's his turn. And
I
he's
know.
Just there like,
I know. I'm not sure if you have more questions. I didn't see like a page turn or anything.
It turned a while ago, sweetie.
I know, that's why. I didn't know if there was another one coming. So now let's talk a little bit about, and I'm just going to, before I go into my question,
Okay.
the two of you have such a hard role in weddings because you are indirectly the one that they will blame or give the success
It's the
to
worst.
when something doesn't flow. And neither of you could be responsible for it, but both of you are the ones they look at when something is succeeding or failing. So that's tough to know that, fuck, you guys are going to be blamed whether it's your responsibility or not.
You know what? And in my role specifically, I've become
Specifically
in my role in the company, I take that on the chin for the team a lot of times. Nobody's perfect. Things happen, real or imagined, because most of the time it's imagined. And I know that you know that too, right? Most of the time it's like, I told you that my dog Skippy only ate whatever. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure you did.
You never mentioned
Yeah,
it.
you never said it. No problem. So I take that on the chin for the team. So you grow like a hard shell to that too. And you also, the mothers of the bride, we love our mothers of the bride and fathers of the bride and fathers of the groom and mothers of the groom and all the things. You have to build that shell with them and really set some automatic
parameters.
boundaries
Yeah,
and some
absolutely.
parameters,
Yeah.
because people will push and push and push until they get and get and get. And the minute that they realize that they can't push, well, okay, this is not somebody that I can mess with.
Right.
But even then, it happens and it's tough. But you have to kind of like, yep, sure, no problem.
So now that you're talking a little bit about weddings, how I wish I could have been a fly on the wall the day you did your tasting for your wedding.
Oh,
What are the things that you looked at, and what are the things that, and I'm talking about food wise, tasting wise, what are the things that at the tasting you were like, you know what, that's not what I'm accustomed to,
yeah, I'll tell you.
and
Oh, God.
what can you adjust? What can you adjust here to make me happy, and were they able to make you happy?
You know what? I'm not going to mention where I had my wedding. It was beautiful, spectacular wedding. It really was. But the food fell short.
And it was super stressful because I remember it had to happen the day before because there was a hurricane coming and all
moved
that
it.
bullshit.
Yeah. all the things.
Elefante,
Yeah.
you don't forget one.
My memory is
Yeah,
Oh.
I moved it because of the hurricane. I was supposed to have it at a specific location, and I moved it for another location. And I picked this place because it had this spectacular thing, right? And the place is spectacular. This is in 2019, right before COVID, right?
yeah.
And we actually did our wedding ceremony, our rehearsal dinner at Verde. I say Verde because Pam is so that was super
awesome.
special. And Constellation did the catering, and it was spectacular. But the tasting was, I haven't been to a lot of hotel tastings, so we do off-premise catering.
Right.
So we're trying to win the business always, right? So we pull out all the stops. And I've been in hundreds of tastings at this point, obviously. I couldn't even tell you, but when they brought out the hors d'oeuvres, it was all at once, and they put them on the table, and I was like, okay, that's a little disappointing. Because they're cold and
It's
this is
just
supposed
gonna
to
get cold,
yeah,
right,
and I'm
and
like,
stale,
okay. And
and
it
it's
was
not
like a
taste the
really
same.
fast tasting, and and then we did like I think we did like a sea bass or something, and it was nice, but it was like it came out cold, and it was like a very we did it in the restaurant of the hotel, and it was just so lackluster, and I just know how much effort and we put into our tastings, and we sit there and we have note cards and we take like meticulous notes, like, the mother of the bride doesn't like cilantro, but the father does. So then we bring out their plates that has cilantro, no cilantro, whatever it is, right? None of that happened for me. And I didn't really expect it to, because I feel like, maybe it was just a different time.
You didn't have high expectations.
I didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's hard to be in this industry and turn it off.
I did. I turned it off completely.
Well, she
Believe it or
doesn't
not.
turn it
For
off
you.
because we go to dinner sometimes.
I'm super annoying.
And it is
Yeah.
so annoying. Twice we went to dinner and the appetizer came out. She grabs the lobster roll, Marilyn, it's in her lips, and she goes, "This is 4 days old."
It was
Nicole,
It
it's-
was no.
It's the most annoying shit.
Tú me perdona. So let me tell you something. This place. I'm
Oh,
like
you want
looking-
a Versailles.
This is.
Tell me, ¿cómo te
We
frijol?
went to a very expensive new restaurant.
Too expensive.
Okay? Too expensive. Over the top. Where I literally was like,
Like
I'm gonna
expensive that wasn't worth it.
like
expensive.
$700 for 3 people for what we were eating. Yeah, with like one steak that we were sharing. Like we shared 3 ounces of steak. I'm exaggerating, but that meal was horrific for me.
It was egregious.
And I literally egregious. I literally said, like, it was a steak with like a peppercorn sauce. And I said to the guy, I'm like, do me a favor, take this back to the chef and ask him if this is how he intended the
Dude,
sauce
you're
to
like
taste.
Julia Roberts in my best friend's wedding.
A little bit.
Marilyn,
When the wait staff is like this.
Because,
in the back, like, oh my
because
God, what is she gonna
like,
say?
how are you going to give me a peppercorn sauce that's literally like butter and peppercorns? It was just so horrible. And
this is what happened. She said to the waitress, "Do me a favor. Can you send this back to the chef? Have them taste this peppercorn sauce and tell me if that's how it's supposed to be."
If that's their intention.
When they came back and said, "No, ma'am, that's how it's supposed to be.
I
If
said,
you don't
"Okay."
like that, here's a chipotle sauce."
didn't give me an extra sauce.
She gave it another sauce.
I
Chimichurri.
turned down.
Here's a
chimichurri.
chimichurri sauce.
You know what she said?
With
She's
spit in it. Okay.
Exactly.
It's like, forget it.
She says, "Oh, give me the check. We're leaving."
yeah,
She was done.
I was so mad.
It was
The food
a
was
little
bad.
something. Well, let's go back to menu drama and service plot twist.
Oh goodness. Ooh.
Switch into.
Love it.
Tell me about a situation where a client, a company, the night before changed the menu, and how did you overcome that?
Oh, that doesn't happen often.
But
But what they do
what did you do?
is they'll increase their guest count by a lot.
More than 5%?
No. I mean, like if we had 300 people, it's 700 people.
What
That
the-
happened to me a lot in the beginning when I was first starting out my career in Constellation with certain clients, and it's really like sometimes it's real estate clients because they don't know what to expect, right? It's understandable.
Yeah.
I think that we just have to figure out what we have in house that we can accommodate that with.
Yeah.
Like we'll say, okay, so we know we went from 300 to 700. At least you gave me some notice, which is I appreciate that. 10 out of 10 times.
Make a quick stop at Publix.
Yes, right. We're going to Publix. We're going to Whole Foods. I'm going to clean the rotisserie chickens out from Publix. Every Publix I can buy. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, we do it. We pivot. It happens all the time. Very recently, actually, there was a client that said, "Listen, you know what? I didn't really look at this. I did like a lunch buffet. I didn't really look at this menu, and we're missing a protein because you have pork and they don't eat pork." And I said, "Okay, no problem." And so we have to figure it out. Like we have some time. We have a couple of hours. I cannot tell you, there's not an event that I don't run to Publix, because that's just what it
happens.
is, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just the love of catering, and the clients are none the wiser, and they're happy and repeat clients and the whole thing because they know that we'll take care of it,
Sure.
right? Like they know that they could. If Marilyn runs to me and says, "Nicole, I need you to this, that, whatever," even if it's not for her, right, or related to catering, I'll be like, "No problem, whatever you need." Like I'll run out and get it.
Give me a situation where there was an issue with maybe timing or timeline that what's the laugh?
No, I'll tell you. Okay, go. Sorry.
No, give me
because
that
I'm-
laugh.
You know, when people show up late.
Yeah. So I'm laughing because I can imitate. I'm not going to do it here because I put me on the spot, but I can imitate, and you probably can too. Every maid of honor speech you've ever heard. Every group's.
I knew each other since we were fun.
Yeah. So Jamie and I have been friends since we were in the sorority together.
For those of you who don't know me,
I'm her sister. We're sisters for life. And now, Josh, you're my brother. And they're always the same. And it's like, oh, here we go. And so sometimes, like, and then it'd be like, you know what? My Uncle Bobby is going to speak. And there's been times where we're holding plates of food. And I'm like, okay, we're on time. Holding plates of food because the speeches were supposed to take 20 minutes and they took 120 minutes, right? Because these people just groan on and on. They think they're they get the first time they ever get a microphone in their entire life.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So what's a process that you go into, or your state of mind, for keeping your team and clients calm, although your back of house is putting out fires?
It is 100% how you present everything.
Yeah.
Right. So if there is a literal fire in the kitchen.
Has that happened?
Of course.
Really?
Everything has happened. Yeah. The fire's in the kitchen. It's a kitchen.
I know it's a kitchen.
Like,
what caught fire?
I mean, like I can't, everything. There's so much. I can't, or like if it's raining in Vizcaya and like the hotel pan of the burgers we had, so we have to like go get more burgers. Like it's just all the things that happen. And I look at it and I'm like, okay. And so I'll be like, I actually have a great example of what you're saying now. Similar, but not similar. So there's this really good client that's still a client of mine today. Is a client, wonderful client. Was getting married. This is probably 7 years ago at this point. And our chef at the time, she had a 6-course meal, and he switched the courses. So
the client or the chef?
No, the chef accidentally sent out the ceviche instead of the burrata. I remember this like it was yesterday. And he looked at me, he's like, I sent out the wrong course. And I said, okay.
No
and
taken.
This is still my client, mind you. She uses this for everything. She's such a lovely human being. And I said, no problem. And I went up to her, I said, and this is World of Catering. So the chef felt like the ceviche would have been fresher had we gone out with it first. And so we decided just to make the switch because of the ceviche, the temperature, and whatever. And she looked at me, she goes, Nicole, come on.
No. She called
and
you
I was
out.
like, thank you.
Did you talk about it at another point?
No, yeah, but we did like it was the best ceviche, right?
She knows now.
She does. I think she figured it out.
She figured it out. Nicole. So hold on, you had a similar situation at a venue we will not name, where you were working with our friends of Gilded Group, and they did this beautiful setup of tables and chairs and candles and meticulously placed settings.
Yes.
And then tell us what happened.
So the groom, which also happens to be a client of you guys.
Okay.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay.
Is some type of ambassador in another country, Swedish or some shit, I can't remember right now. And he wanted a particular way for everyone to be seated. Everything had to be in a particular fashion.
Okay.
I'm talking January 2022.
Okay. I feel
So
like I should know.
in December of
Was this with us?
No.
Oh, no, okay.
No. This is
Okay.
at a venue.
I was
In
like, we did it again?
December,
Just
in
kidding.
December of 2021, remember, there was I forgot which strand of
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
COVID, right? And it happened during
QRF
Christmas.
strand, yeah.
Who knows?
Uh-huh.
And everybody was sick.
Yeah.
So the venue did not have the staff that they were accustomed to having.
Sure, yeah.
Everybody was outsourced. So one of the waitresses, which has never worked at that venue before, decided that she was gonna start fucking moving all the menus
Oh no.
to wherever the hell she wanted because they look better here and they look better there. And I'm usually like the calm person. Like if I'm upset at something, you won't see it. My clients always say you have this poker face, and I'm sure you do the same or
yeah.
whatever. And in the back you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And I lost my shit that day.
No, but it was the second time around. Remember round one?
Right.
You had a very calm demeanor. But
And then round two, that's it. Like
they
I
did
lost
it
my
twice.
shit. I lost my
God.
shit.
They took 45 minutes to organize it,
God.
and that woman came back again and
I lost my
redid it.
shit.
What an
It was round
empty-
two.
And then
As well you
and then the
should.
groom
As
in
well
the
you
middle
should.
of the event lost his shit at the staff
Yeah.
because of the way that they served the bread. They were supposed to serve the salad first instead of the bread. He knew like his shit.
Yeah.
And he got up and ripped them an asshole in the middle of
Good
the
for him.
entire fucking wedding.
He said to the bartender, either you're going to serve the wine or I'm going to serve it out of your hands, but these people need wine.
Good for him.
was
Good
like,
for him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun. It was fun.
And the worst part was when he got over your shoulder and said, "No, I'm just going to watch you." And the moment he said that, and I saw Marilyn take a deep breath, I said, I think I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Everybody like cleared out. It was awful. So I get it. Talk to me about a moment that almost broke you.
Oh, there's so many.
But talk to me about one that really like.
So the first one that came to my mind was we opened. It's just hard to do without like naming names.
You can do it.
We opened a
space,
museum,
an event, a place.
Well, actually, yeah, we opened a museum. No, not like an exclusive museum. One that was open we did an event in, not one of ours. And the elevators broke, and it was 3 floors we were serving. And I remember that day. I was telling my coworker at the time, I feel really. Today's just one of those days that like you just have like a gut instinct. And there was a fire that day. Is what it is. There was a fire. The elevators broke down. The chefs had to take like sheet trays of food up the three flights of stairs, but they were double stairs. So it's like 6 flights of stairs, right? Like it's that day and the day that I told you about the celebrity that event as well. Those 2 events probably almost broke me. Yeah.
Now opposite to that, talk to me about one that you got out of there and you're like, I'm a badass bitch. One that emotionally you were like, oh, fuck, this did it. Like,
I will tell you that like I have a collective feeling about the events that are really spectacular, right? Because we do so many. Miami is really unique in that we get to do really awesome shit that I don't think anybody else in the world gets to do. Maybe in Paris, but. But Miami has events because people have the means to do great, wonderful, awesome fucking shit. And I can tell you that I feel like that about a lot of different events. I can't think of one in particular where I'm like, oh, this is really where we excelled here. There's so many that just feel like, wow, what a privilege to do this. What an awesome opportunity that I got to meet this chef. Because I do that too, right? We get to work with Michelin chefs and watch them cooking in their kitchen, and they use our kitchen. And we've done that with like some of the best chefs in the world. Watching Frances Malman walk by and just be like, wow, you are a legend. And having those interactions and seeing those people and doing those things at these events I get experiences that most people don't even come close to. So I think that we collectively in this industry get that, you know. So
what would you say is the biggest misconception about luxury catering?
I was going to say that it's expensive, but it's expensive. That's not a misconception.
Luxury misconception?
Luxury? That's interesting. What would you say is the biggest misconception about luxury catering? I would like to hear that from what you would think from your lens.
Question.
I would say so.
Let Marilyn answer.
No, but she's thinking. Hold on. So for someone who maybe hasn't experienced it and has heard of it, that they're not going to like the food, or it's not going to be.
You think that's a misconception about luxury catering? And they're not going to like the food? It's going to be the best food.
I don't know if people always see that. It's too gourmet, or it's too fancy, or it's too elevated.
They may think it's too boring, or you say luxury and you're like, ay, me van a servir una cosita así. Like, they don't understand that una cosita así could be filling and flavorable.
Or like you said, you could have the best hot dog in the world, right? So you're right. That it's not approachable.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Both your answers are good. I accept them.
We passed.
That it's not approachable.
Right.
And it is approachable. And that's the fun of a luxury caterer, right? Because there is no bounds to what we do. We can create any story you want us to create, and it can feel however you want it to feel. Because at the end of the day, we're telling a story and we're making you feel fantastic at your wedding, at your event, at your mitzvah, at your corporate party. Because, when you do have like the C-level or the owners of these like Fortune 50 companies that are coming into a room and there's a lot of high pressure, like you want to deliver this product, but they don't want lobster tails and caviar. They really are like pasta guys or steak guys or whatever. And well, yeah, it's expensive. We're doing it, and they're feeling like they're eating like at their nona's house, and it's like that perfect version of whatever it is.
I know that a big misconception that I get a lot is, You know, when I have a client, and I'm sure you get them too, that they're like, we just want a party.
Yeah.
I don't want it stuffy. I don't want sit down. So trying to convince not them, but the people that are paying for the wedding, like their parents, and say, hey, you know, we're going to do stations. Buffet. Like immediately it's
Yeah, they
buffet.
don't
And I'm
get
like,
it.
it's not like that. It's
don't get
interactive.
it.
Things are
Yeah.
different. So,
Yeah. They think chafing dishes, which
Right.
Hamas.
Golden Corral, you know,
Oh
that
my
whole
God.
shit. Yeah.
Never eaten there before, by the way.
Ugh.
Me neither, but it
I haven't, but
nasty,
it's called
so.
it's called the Golden Corral.
The word
It's like
corral.
a feed bag to your face. It's disgusting.
So we're going to our final act.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Closing questions.
Wow, this went fast.
So it has gone fast.
Yeah.
Right? It's like we're just chatting.
It's like
I know.
we're like friends.
So she kind of asked you a version of this question, but maybe we could get a different response.
Okay.
So we call it your tightrope moment, right? What's the one thing that keeps you on the edge before an event day?
The one thing that keeps me on the edge before an event day, timeline.
Really?
Yeah, timeline.
Do you ever clash with event planners?
Every single time.
That's a yes.
Yeah, no, I'm exaggerating for effect, but quite often, event planners that maybe they don't like let's say they're greener in the industry, or they don't really care about food or prioritize food. And we were brought on because somebody did prioritize food,
Obviously.
right? The client was like, no, the food has to be good. And they're like, well, it's okay. You can use, Blue Sky. Blue Sky's great. I'm not saying it, but you know what I mean? And
Food by the pound.
Food by the pound. And they're like, no, we want to use Constellation, or we want to use Abigail Kirsch, or whatever it is. And they're like, well, you only need 5 minutes to clear. We don't need 5 minutes to clear a room of 300. Well, we have the speeches and they're so important, It also happens a lot with like nonprofits because they have a call to action. So while we can speed it up, how those donors behave or wedding guests behave. They're schmoozing, they're sitting down, they're looking at their plate, they're like, and we can't just, you're done, and pick up their
Out.
food. Right. So that's what I would say is a tightrope.
Okay, so timeline.
Yeah.
So now we're called Ringleader Show
Okay.
because we're the ringleaders of the circus,
Okay.
which in the circus means the weddings.
Okay.
So if you ran away from the circus, meaning you were no longer in weddings,
Yeah.
right? No longer. What act would you be performing after this?
In relation to events,
No. Like, what would be your next chapter?
I would be dead.
Oh my God.
Kidding. Somebody would have murdered me. No.
God, don't say that.
No, I would. You're like, I'm going to cut that out.
Edit.
I mentioned it. My dream, my next life would probably be related to bizarre foods, like eating really interesting foods and exploring cultures. That's one of my favorite things to do is like, okay, we're going to deep dive into I want to, figure out what it is that they eat in, X country. That would
So
be
before I give her the last question, what's the strangest thing you think our viewers and listeners would be completely baffled by you eating?
Oh, I can list them all. I can list them. I mean, intestine, brain, heart, duck embryos, all kinds of critters.
Let's go to the next
Crickets.
question.
Yep,
That's
okay.
enough. Thank you. Got it.
And they're all delicious. by the
Last
way.
question. When the final curtain falls, how do you want to be remembered?
As the life of the party.
Very good.
Thank you.
That's going to wrap it up for us.
Okay.
But I have one last question that I know everybody is going to want to know the answer to.
Okay.
What's your favorite restaurant in Miami?
Oh, that's a loaded one. Oh, Marilyn, you
Gotta
put me
pick
on
one.
the spot.
Gotta pick one.
Gotta pick one. Favorite restaurant in Miami. Right now, it's Tam Tam. Yeah. We're going tonight, actually.
Yeah.
They do a solid job. Unfortunately, Miami, the restaurants, as people come in, they're starting to build these restaurants that are just for show. And that, to me, is a big no-no. So, Tam Tam.
Minutes, go check it out. All right. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode. I'm Manolo Doreste.
I'm Marilyn Exposito.
And this is Nicole Hernandez. Until next one, we'll see you soon.